This is Jennifer of Cell Robotics, reporting to you on all things drones. Pardon our dust, and pardon our absence. We were taking a long vacation on Rigel 7. Today in drone news, this hybrid drone robot Slackline and skateboards like it's nothing. Fearing the rise of the robots? Don't worry. Leonardo, the hybrid drone bot, is more interested in doing awesome tricks than taking over the world. It's lucky we're not living in a futuristic dystopia where sentient robots are out to get us. But if we were, then Leonardo would definitely be the coolest robot we'd face. Leonardo, short for Legs Onboard Drone, is the creation of Caltech researchers who were inspired in part by how birds can flap their wings and also hop and walk with their legs. Known as Leo for short, this bipedal robot is able to pull off tricky moves like walking on a slackline and riding on a skateboard. Leo is the first robot that uses multi-joint legs and a propeller-based thrusters to achieve a fine degree of control over its balance, Caltech said in a statement when it introduced Leonardo in October. The Caltech team at that time published a paper on the robot in the journal Science Robotics. Leo's versatility means it can call on its walking skills, its flying ability, or just a combination of the two depending on the terrain and its goals. Caltech described Leo as having, quote, uncanny balance. After seeing videos of Boston Dynamics harassing their own robot creations, you might wonder how Leo would respond. Because of its propellers, you can poke or prod Leo with a lot of force without actually knocking the robot over, said Elena Serena-Lupo, a co-author of the paper. This robotics team sees a possible future for this technology on Mars, where it could represent a new generation of rotocraft. The concept would build on the successes of NASA's Ingenuity helicopter. But imagine Ingenuity with legs. It's able to stand and land safely on uneven terrain. Is Leo the next interplanetary explorer? The researchers on this team are already eyeing ways to make Leo more energy efficient by upgrading the leg design to rely less on the propellers for balance while walking. The team is already making it more autonomous so it can access its environment and decide how best to navigate it. Oh, Leonardo. Isaac Asimov disapproves. Next up on Today in Drone News, tomorrow's Top Gun might have a drone wingman using AI. This book deserves the attention of all parents. Renowned by law enforcement and clinical mental health experts nationwide, Delete Me, DSM 7 Steps to Social Media Abstinence was formerly only circulated interdepartmentally. Now, the newly released audiobook is available to the public for the very first time. Drugfree.org, drugfr33.org. Start telling your friends, I'm offline. Farnborough, England. Maverick's new wingman could be a drone. In the movies, fighter pilots are depicted as highly trained military aviators with the skills and experience to defeat adversaries in thrilling aerial dogfights. New technologies, though, are set to redefine what it means to be a Top Gun, as algorithms, data, and machines take on a huge role in the cockpit. Updates hinted at in Top Gun Maverick. Quote, a lot of people talk about it, the way of the future, possibly taking the pilot out of the aircraft, said First Lieutenant Walker Gall, an F-35 pilot with the U.S. 48th Fighter Wing based at RAF Lakenheath in England. That's definitely not something any of us look forward to, said Gall. Quote, I'd like to keep my job as long as possible, but I mean, it's hard to argue with newer and newer technology, he said. And if that's the way of the future, That's the way it is. But I'm just here to enjoy it while I can, end quote. The future for fighter pilots was on display this week at the Farnborough International Air Show near London, one of the world's biggest aviation, defense, and aerospace expos. Defense contractors outlined how artificial intelligence and other technologies will be used in the newest warplanes as global military delegations browse mock-ups of missiles, drones, and fighter jets. At stake are many billions of dollars as countries update military fleets or pump out defense procurement budgets amid rising geopolitical tensions. Originally, the Top Gun movie, released in 1986, follows Tom Cruise's hotshot Navy pilot Pete Maverick Mitchell through fighter weapons training school. In the sequel, an aging Maverick, now a test pilot, learns the top-secret hypersonic plane he's working on is being canceled so the funding can be used for a pilotless drone program. It's a debate that's been playing out for years in the real world. Drones have been used extensively in the war between Russia and Ukraine and other modern conflicts, raising the question of just how much need there is for human pilots to fly expensive fighter jets and other aircraft, or whether unmanned aerial vehicles could do the job. At the Farnborough show, experts said the future of air warfare is likely to be manned and unmanned aircraft working together, hand in hand. One day, fighter pilots will have a drone aircraft that's flying as a loyal wingman under their control, said John Norman, a vice president at Raytheon Technology Corporation's missile and defense business. Norman, a retired U.S. Air Force pilot, said he used to complain about drones controlled from the ground that got in the way when he was flying fighter jets. The latest communication systems let fighters, drones, and other aircraft talk to one another, he said. Technology has already removed the need for a second person to sit in the back seat to work the radar, a role portrayed in the original Top Gun movie by the character Goose. It will continue to play a bigger role in the cockpit, Raytheon executives said. AI will analyze reams of data from sensors placed on planes, drones, the ground, or missile flying through the air to give pilots in the sky and commanders back at headquarters a better sense of the battlefield. This is Jennifer of Cell Robotics, reporting to you on all things drones, and celebrating our 9th year of Today in Drone News, made only possible by listeners like you. Always remember to recycle your obsolete drones.